What's going on? Right on, right on, right on. Well, I've been doing a segment on my channel where I'm showing you all the different custom bikes that I've built over time. In part just to document them and so that there's a history of them somewhere at some point, because many of them I'm gonna have to take apart and sell them as parts just to make the money back from them. There's no way that people are gonna buy them for what they're worth. I mean, I have bikes that I'm trying to sell right now for $500 that have $1,500, $2,000 worth of parts on them that people aren't willing to pay $500 for. So I'm gonna have to take them apart and then sell the individual parts, and I can make that money. And that's what I need to do. Plus I have way too many bikes. So I'm in the process of de-biking. But just recently, I was approached by another bicycle enthusiast. He's into BMX bikes, but he also buys storage containers, like abandoned storage containers. And he often finds this bike stuff, mountain bike stuff. And so he came over to my house the other day to talk about trading for some BMX stuff. And he saw my AMF Evel Knievel push pedal trike. That was my very first wheeled object in my life. Well, I told him no, that there's no way, and that they're incredibly hard to find. He whipped up a thing, and he was like, no, I can find all these right here. And he pulled up a thing for him. And they weren't really expensive either. They were showing prices of like $200-300 for them. And so when he asked what I wanted for mine, I was like, $2,000. And he said, no, I can't do that. And I was like, okay, no worries, just let it slip out of your mind. But eventually he said, hey, I've got an AMP, one of the very first fully suspended mountain bikes on the market. And it's really cool. I don't know much about it. I don't really want it. How about if I give you that bike for your AMF Evel Knievel push pedal trike and $350. And I'm trying to get over the materialism that I've experienced in my entire life. So I gave it a couple hours. I sent him away. He went home and stuff. And then I called him back and I said, yeah, I'm willing to do that. That will benefit me getting out of the situation or helping to deal with the financial deficit situation that I'm in more than anything. And all it was doing before was sitting up in between my kitchen and the front room on a high shelf in a vaulted ceiling and gathering dust. With this, at least, I can bring it back to life, and it is an incredible bike. If you're not familiar with AMP M3s or B3s, they had really interesting suspension on them. I don't know if you can see it. There's like a coil shock in here, and then a damper right here. And this thing's in great shape. Also notice that this is a 1993 and it came set up for disc brakes. Granted, they're not ISO disc brakes, but they have conversions where you can put just a conversion plate and mount up a regular ISO to it. So anyhow, I have gotten this bike and I've decided that I am going to try to bring it back to life for next to nothing, like zero money into it. It's just from the parts that I have, the parts that have been donated to me from you guys, because there are going to be some parts going on here that came from some of my bros out there in Facebook land. And one of the very first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to polish up this chrome frame. It's very cloudy and kind of scratched and just not looking very good. And I actually went and got some mother's polish. It's like this aluminum mag polish, and it was like $6.50 for the tub of it, right? And then I got some spinners, like buffing wheels of different shapes that I can put on my electric drill. And I'm going to be using chamois cloths and microfiber towels. Well, the other night I did an experiment where I just wanted to see what applying a little bit of mothers and just the least amount of effort possible. And so there was just a little bit stuck to the lid. I mean, just barely more than what's still stuck to there. And I pulled that out. Like literally, I have not touched any of the contents yet. Pulled that out and shined it up across here and here. And the results, you're not going to be able to see them from there, but the results are mind-blowing. This is going to be a beautiful bike. And not only am I going to be polishing this bike up, but I'm going to be polishing up Ziggy Stardust, one of the bikes I did recently on my channel. And I think that is going to be pretty cool, you know. Anyhow, between these two projects, I'm going to do some aluminum polishing and I will try to share with you the entire process, and we'll go through this together. Sorry, man, I'm kind of a dork when it comes to camera. I'm still trying to figure out how to do it, and I'm still doing it with just an iPhone. So anyhow, love you guys. Hope you tune in. And this might get stuck in the middle of a video too. Hey, how's it going? Right on, right on, right on. Well, I wanted to give you guys an update on the AMP Research B3 that I am restoring and kind of customizing. Not kind of, I'm totally customizing it. And so I wanted to give you a quick walkthrough of where I'm at on it and try to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of where I'm going. Okay, here we go. Okay, first off, obviously I disassembled the bike. That's one of the very first things that I always do. And it's kind of a boring thing. I didn't really want to have to bore you with me taking the bike apart, even though it was very interesting. And so I took the bike apart and I started thinking about the concept that I wanted to go for. And the white just kind of stuck out with me, like white trim on this bike, and the chrome is going to be ridiculous. So what we have here are some parts for the seat post to hold the seat on, that'll be white now. The suspension coil, which will be white. The largest chainring, which will be white. Seat post, which is still in process. In fact, all of this is still in process, which will be white. The pedal cages, which will be white. And all the hardware headset will all be matching white, which is actually a little bit of an off-color white, but I like it better. Too stone cold of a white kind of bothers me. The grips are that white, and some of the housing is that white. You can probably see it on there. But when they're mixed together, I know it's just going to look great. It'll make, they will make each other pop in a big way. Also, these pedals are really, really cool. They are Tioga Surefoot 6s, and they have a little grease port right here. So I clean them up, and then I stick my grease gun in there and fill them up with fresh grease until it pushes out of the seams, which I've already done on these, and they're amazing. One of them I've already shined up. The other one I have not shined up yet, but you can see the contrast between the two. And then I'm also going to take the buffer to the cranks. So I'm going to get those pretty much as shiny as I possibly can. And upgrading the rear derailleur from LX to XT, and same for the front derailleur from LX to XT. So it'll be all XT componentry. These XT brakes, which have the parallel push on the brakes, really, really sweet. Anyhow, onto the frame. I have been polishing like crazy on this thing, and it is close to being done. And I gotta be honest, it's pretty amazing how this thing is turning out. It is just almost a mirror. Now granted, I did not go back and resand everything. All I did was polish with my drill bits and by hand. And I think this thing is just gorgeous. This is going to be a seriously beautiful build. Now imagine that with that stacked on it, and you'll get an idea of where I'm going. Right on. Hope you like it.